Aside from how to control your symptoms, a recent poll found some interesting statistics on the etiquette of allergies. And here to talk about that is pharmacist Victor Wong from Shoppers Drug Mart. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks.
I'm one of these individuals that I think you're talking about, but the one thing I've learned, especially over the last couple of years as we continue to learn more education, learn more about germs and the bacteria, is the simple thing of just kind of sneezing into your elbow and not doing it into your hands, because chances are you might shake some hands. What are some of the biggest, I guess, allergy etiquette faux pas?
Yeah, so one of the interesting things that the Shoppers Drug Mart survey found is that 83% of respondents would actually sneeze into their hands as opposed to a tissue or anything like that. But even more alarming is that half of those individuals would actually shake other people's hands before washing it. So that's quite alarming. It's definitely not the most sanitary thing.
Absolutely. And when it comes to, I guess, finding the right medication, I mean, there's a lot of things that kind of work for some people that don't necessarily work for others. You brought a couple of things over here. What did you bring us here?
Right. So preventing allergy symptoms from happening is really a two-pronged approach. One of them is just avoidance of allergens, but other thing is just choosing the right medications. So usually the cornerstone is a good antihistamine, like this one right here. It's just once a day, but there's also corticosteroid nasal sprays, and those are really effective too. But one really good tip is to use the medication an hour before heading out. That way it prevents the symptoms from happening even in the first place.
One of the interesting things about this report is just the percentage of these awkward moments that individuals can have. If you've been sneezing and you go to meet maybe a business associate, you're going into a meeting, and you don't really want to shake their hand because you know you've maybe sneezed into your hand. Talk about that aspect of the report.
Yeah, that's right. So what's more serious in the fact, other than just the funny aspect of shaking hands, is that it actually impacts people's lives in a more significant way. So more than 60% of respondents have found that allergies really affect their ways of having a social life, of enjoying vacations, able to focus at work. And even at this point in time right now, I mean, this is the peak of allergy season. More than double percent of the respondents have actually had less than 5 hours of sleep because they just can't sleep well with all the sneezing and stuffy nose.
A lot of people, you know, I developed kind of seasonal allergies in my later years, and only in the last couple of years have I realized I'm allergic to dust and all these other things. When is the right time that someone should go get checked, maybe by a dermatologist, to maybe get that allergy test to figure out if they're, you know, prone to, or if they're allergic to anything?
Yeah, so the first step, of course, is just simple measures you can do, just like taking the right medication or just avoidance of the allergens. But if you find that even the medications don't work, you can actually take an appointment with the allergist, and they can do testing to see if it affects you. It is a long process. It takes about 2 to 5 years to really adapt to that particular allergen. But for real sufferers who can't get relief from medications, it definitely is a possibility.
And for people who suffer really bad, I mean, it could be detrimental to their health as well.
That's right, yeah. So along with the lack of sleep and the ability to focus, studies also show that it can cause a lot of tearing and difficulty focusing. That can affect people who drive long distances, like truckers or people who have to have these long commutes in Toronto as well.
Absolutely. Victor Wong, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Well, a ceremony to honor fallen